Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. JC here with another video on Action Taimanin. Today we're gonna check very quickly how to use Hebiko. But before we start, don't forget to leave a like, share and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Also, comment on what other builds you know for Hebiko. So, very quickly, and before we start, unfortunately I cannot do some other characters that have been requested because I need them to be at least at level 81 and I'm missing crystals. It is rough, guys, but they'll come eventually. And if you have any other suggestions for content, something that you want to know, you may ask. This is a quiet week. We don't have that many content, so I might take a day or two because I have a lot of work lately. So I'll see what happens. So very quickly, we're gonna check Hebiko, and Hebiko is an assist type human character. These two traits are not the best. I mean, they are usable, yes, but there aren't that many supporters that give any kind of benefit to these two traits. It is something very limited. So, my Hebiko is level 83. I didn't get the pack last time. So I'll have to deal with that later. And we're gonna check the skills super quickly. We start with Octopus Windmill, which is the all blue skill. And as you can see before we check that specific skill, all of her skills are either melee or range. So she can be a mixed attacker, but she isn't like mix that combines different kind of damage in one skill. She can also play pure. So just be aware of what kind of build you're doing with her so that you optimize your damage. So we start with a melee attack on Octopus Windmill. It's a whole debate. What whips her tentacles in circles to like a windmill and performs an area attack. 1 blue increases the range attack by 30%, 2 blue increase the number of attacks to 7, and 3 blue increase the critical rate by 50%. This is pretty good. All of these skills are great. And this is going to allow you to deal a ton of damage. Fortunately, this skill can be used in mixed builds that have 2 blue supporters. Because the critical rate, while useful on blue, it is not that important. You can give up that effect. And you never want critical damage on blue unless you're a range attacker, and this is a range attack because there are things that support critical on blue, but not that many things that support critical damage on melee, so or critical rate for melee. So let's see. The next one is going to be Octopus Choke. Octopus Choke is the all color skill. It is kind of the equivalent for a launching attack, but this is way better. It's a range attack. During normal task, hold attack. Before we continue with the effects, remember that you can attack not meter on without target. You just deal an attack and then you hold attack. Even though there wasn't any enemy, you can use the skill like that. And it is super important that you do, because unless the enemy is doing an animation, you don't want to get near the enemy because you're gonna get interrupted because of the lack of super armor. So you want the enemies to follow you, then you do an attack, and then you hold attack. And when the enemies are in front of you, you're going to do the animation that summons that tentacle. So what does this one do? Summons a giant octopus leg in front and performs consecutive attack by constricting an enemy for 3 seconds. When it says constrict, it means snare. So they are not going to be able to move, and that's amazing. The debuff lasts for 3 seconds, but that's more than enough. 1 green increases skill damage by 25%, 1 blue reduces the skill cooldown by 20%, 1 red increases attack range by 30%. So this is amazing. You definitely want this skill. It's gonna last. It's gonna have an 8-second cooldown, Maybe lower if we take into consideration the skills, the skill training. So it is a great skill. It really enhances your performance if you use this. And you can use it on pure colors, even though it gets more benefit on mixed builds. Then, Taimanin our octopus enhances normal attack, wielding 4 daggers with her tentacles to perform consecutive attacks. Increase damage by 10%, increase damage by 20%, increase particle charge amount by 50%. This is kind of mid, I guess. I prefer to do the normal attacks that are not enhanced because with the speed increase, you're gonna be faster with those. And this, the benefit of using this is that you have more range, so you can do this at a distance and you are going to attack multiple enemies. But since the animation lasts longer, there are more chances of you getting interrupted by getting hit. Yeah, this skill needs super armor. The next one, sorry, pulling tentacle is going to be a melee attack, double dash, extends her transformed tentacles and pull in enemies that are in the line of trajectory in front of her. Gremory overcomplicated this definition. So, 2 green increases speed by 20% for 10 seconds, pretty good. 2 blue stuns the enemy, pretty bad. 2 red makes the enemy groggy, pretty bad. I mean, it's usable for PvP, and that's why I think it's okay if they leave it like that, but I would prefer a buff on this skill. And the speed increase is amazing, though you have to be careful because you're pulling the enemy. So maybe you want to reposition immediately. The next one, Octopus Saber. It's a melee attack, dash attack, move forward and performs a fast charging attack with dual daggers. Main green increases speed by 10% for 10 seconds. Main blue has doubling buff for 3 seconds. Main red increases damage by 10% for 10 seconds. Green and red are pretty good, but blue is kind of not. So let me explain Devil Ink before we continue. Devil Ink is going to be a special buff that has 2 effects. First of all, you gain stealth, and second, you gain region. A small region, a very small region. And the duration is very short, so it's not like very reliable. The Devil Ink buff really needs 2 things. Number 1, to not deactivate the buff. Let me tell you, when you are in stealth mode, the enemy is not going to target you, supposedly. But if you're the only enemy, I think they still target you. So, but on stealth with multiple Taimanin, like VR, you are going to take advantage of the Devil Ink. But the stealth wears off if you attack the enemy. And the problem is that the stealth is linked to the HP recovery. So they need to make it, Grammar needs to make it so that the recovery doesn't fall with the stealth. Because the recovery is already kind of weak-ish because it's just, I think, 3% of HP. So, yeah, I don't know. This definitely needs a buff because you're getting near the enemy, and if you're getting near the enemy, you want to continue attacking. But this incentivizes that you get near the enemy and then you run away. Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking there. Let's see. Octopus Slicer is the all green attack. This is a melee attack. Hold the bait. Perform consecutive attacks by dashing forward and quickly slashing through all in her path. This is like Tokiko's skill, but way better. Increases speed by 10% for 10 seconds. That's the first step. That's why this is better than Tokiko's, because you increase the speed and you end faster the combo. With 2 green, add 5 additional attacks. That's pretty good. And with 3 green, increases skill damage by 150% and gains super armor while attacking. So you're not gonna get interrupted with this skill. That's why it's way better. You have super armor. Yeah, you increase the number of attacks, but that also means that you deal a lot of damage. And with the speed increase doesn't really matter because you're gonna end fast. Then, Octopus Ink Spread. Octopus Ink Spread is a counterattack, a ranged counterattack. Immediately after attack, evade, performs an air attack in a circular sector, retreating backwards. Yeah, it is not that good. I mean, you can use it for tanky builds, yes, but it is not ideal. I gotta say that. With 2 green adds 2 additional attacks. I mean, okay-ish. With 2 blue has doubling buff for 3 seconds, which is nice because you can actually get hit and then you reposition yourself while recovering HP. And with 2 red increases attack range by 40%. I would rather have this deal some kind of debuffs instead of trying to increase the attack. I don't think that this is a very good damaging skill. But at least you can spam it because of the low cooldown. Then, Octopus Field. Octopus Field is the set effect that you need 3 of the same color. It's a range attack. It's the perfect dodge immediately before enemy attack. Evade. During extreme dodge, deploys an ink zone where she previously stood and performs a consecutive attack, reducing the speed of affected enemies by 20% for 5 seconds. That's amazing. Just with that is amazing. And if you're activating the set effect, has doubling for 3 seconds when a slot effect is applied. So that's an added benefit and it's good. Increase attack range increase attack range by 30%. That's good. That's good if you're facing multiple enemies. Increase the duration of the ink zone by 2 seconds. So this is going to last longer if it's on blue, which is nice. I mean, it's not that great, but I mean, it's gonna be more hits. And 3 red increase attack frequency by 40%. That's great. The more you attack, the better. So yeah, all the effects are kind of good. I would say that no, all of them are good. All of them are good, no matter what you do. And you can use this even if you're not using the set effect because of the speed reduction and the damage. It is good enough as it is. I don't use this, I think, except with one build, with one mixed build. So keep that in mind. I didn't want to abuse using this. This is one of the best ones. So just know that you can use it whenever you want. Octopus Ink Bullet. It's a hold attack and it's a range attack. Jumps in the air and performs a moving area attack by spewing ink towards the ground, reducing the speed of affected enemies by 20% for 5 seconds. Yeah, another one that reduces speed, that's great. There is a catch. You might get interrupted if the enemy has an attack that hits high, like Rinko's multi-slash, like, what's the name? Yuki's jump attack. Those are bad news for you, so be careful with that, because you might get interrupted a lot. Increases attack area by 50%, adds 4 additional attacks, increases critical damage by 250%. Even though this skill is better on pure builds, you can also use it on a mix of 2 red because of the added benefit of reducing the speed. And last we have the Awakening skill that you get at level 81, Tentacle Angling, a range attack that is performed with a double dash. A tentacle taunts the nearest enemy and lures the enemy, then it becomes ink and attacks the enemy. With 2 green increases attack range by 50%. With 2 blue adds 3 additional attacks. With 2 red increases damage by 20% for 10 seconds. All of these skills are good. Maybe green is a little bit weak in comparison, but it's fine. The main problem here is that you don't have HP. No, you don't have double link here integrated to the main effect. It should have the double link here because you're using a taunt, so you want stealth. So that's a problem. And another problem is that if you, I think, don't quote me on that, but I think that if you do this and then you use, for example, Octopus Ever on blue, then that would be okay. But if you use it the other way around, you use Octopus Sever and then Tentacle Angle, you're going to lose the Devil Link. So that's not great. So we're gonna start with a red build. Sorry, it's gonna be range. So I'm going to use Nino. I am going to use Stella, and I could change this for the Granny. For Granny, here Granny, but I want to increase my damage because this was low in my opinion. And why is it low? Because of my weapon. I'm using an S2 weapon that is non-enchanted, but I'm getting the benefit of increasing my speed. You know the butterfly weapons already. This is 5 out of 5, plus 11, and I'm going to be using this on most builds. And I have this one too, 5 out of 5 plus 14, but we're gonna do it like this. I'm gonna use Octopus Ink Bullet to deal damage, this one to increase my damage, and where's the other one? Yeah, this one to deal with multiple enemies. The speed reduction is fine, but I'm gonna use it for the damage on multiple enemies. So let's test this super quickly. I have like one build per mix color. Not that many. It's 3 plus a full 3 skill. A full 3 color build. So just so that you keep that in mind. I already have a video on Hebiko, but it focuses mostly on her limited set. So, and it even talks about mixed builds with those. But here we're not gonna focus that much on the limited part. Maybe the supporter we're gonna use because we can. But the weapon we're gonna use in only one build, the limited set build. Oh, let's see. So I'm gonna link that. Pretty good. Only Yuki. Nice. Oh. Ooh. That was close. There. Remember that you can get interrupted on me there, depending on who you're facing. So that's a thing to take into consideration. Now, the next one is going to be another red, but it's going to be the stronger red. This one is going to be this. Same weapon. The Magatamas are anti-demon. I always say the same. And whatever Magatamas. The skills are going to be Octopus Ink because damage. Octopus Field because damage and debuff. And Octopus Choke because control. And we want to deal a ton of debuffs because this is an F2P build that focuses on debuffing the enemy and getting damage. So, let's see. There we go. Okay, there. I travel around with all of this. And remember, your damage is going to be significantly decreased if you don't have if the enemy, not you, if the enemy it doesn't have debuffs. Yeah. What is the other one? I see the perfect evade. And you can also use the active of the supporter. to deal damage and to to increase your HP and to proc the passive of your supporters. So it is great to have Susuni on the main. Yeah, nice. You see? Super easy. Yeah, this is way stronger. And you can change God Lilim if you want for whatever that increases your damage more than that. So, yeah. Let's see. The next one is gonna be all green. This is critical green. Obviously, we don't have HP recovery. That's why we have Akane on the main. So, Octopus Slicer, along with Octopus Sever and Pulling Tentacle. So, it's gonna be Pulling or Octopus Sever and then Slicer. And you're going to shred the enemies. And that's it. That's everything to it. Like, it's just pretty easy to use. You're going to shred them. Pull, dash, and do your busted skill. And you can finish with your basic attacks. That, as I say, I do prefer these ones. I feel that they do better hits. 1, 2, and multi-hits. Okay, we focus here. A little bit more. Octopus Sever and there. Come here, you imp. Okay, done. And this pairs really well with the weapon if you have it, because, I mean, you increase the damage according to the number of hits that you deal. Let's see, the other one is another green, but this is green melee, and we're gonna use the limited Hebiko supporter. I love the synergy between Ichika and New Year Hebiko, and we're using this as a generic means to increase our damage. This is going to deal a lot of damage, but there's one thing that you have to take into consideration, and it's that we're using one range skill, Octopus Field. But why do we want Octopus Field? Because it's easy to inflict poison, because this guarantee is going to reduce the speed of the enemies in the area, and that's going to allow us to poison the enemy with the other tentacles. We're also going to increase our speed and deal damage with this one. This is better if you want to deal with waves of enemies, because you have a bigger area of attack with the perfect touch. Look how my ink buff, gets worse off the moment I attack. I didn't do it right now, so it lasted, but before that, it didn't last anything. Okay. And everything is destroyed. Wow. Very fast. So yeah, pretty good. Now we're gonna go with blue. Let's put these, and let me check my builds. Here I have the camera. Let's see. Which one? Oh my god, I have to do some stuff after this. So here we go. is gonna be Asagi, because I don't have anything better, guys. Asagi, along with Akina, and obviously Felicia. Felicia is super great. Unfortunately, I don't have something that is going to give me damage reduction that would work. I mean, you could use Sakura, but I don't have her enchanted. And the same goes for Susune. This Kamiki Susune. Or also Mai. Those are good options, but I cannot. This one is also good if you're going against humans. But since I don't have good ways of HP reduction, I prefer to use Asagi. For this one, we're going to be using very quickly Octopus Field, Octopus Sever, Ink, and we're going to use Choke. So this is not the greatest. I do not recommend it. If you have a strong tank build and you do have Felicia, it's fine to use this. But I don't recommend that you do it because it's kind of weak. If you have the other damage reduction, that's fine. Remember that I have a ton of damage reduction on my awakening skills. So that's a thing. You see that it's not strong. In fact, I'm going to use the ulti, just so that you know, because whenever I use tanky build, I'm not going to deal damage, so I use the ulti. Let's see, attack, come on, there. Oh yeah, I have the this one. Yeah, that is your main damaging skill. You can evade first and just do the constrict, or you can do the constrict and then evade. Here, first you do the bait, because you need to gather the enemies, and then you constrict so that they are in the area. I'm gonna wait for them to... Okay, like this. Choke. Come on, choke. Oh! They don't let me choke them. Take this. Okay. Nice, nice. Excellent. Yeah, I don't rely too much on the evade, the counter, but it is there if you want it. And the next one is going to be the limited one, and for the limited one, since Devil Link wears off, I'm going to be using something different. Guys, I'm gonna be using Micah, but in this case you would want to use Arabella if you're facing a single boss or you're on BR. It is a better option. And of course the corresponding supporter for damage against a specific trait if you have them. And for this one, of course, oh, I need to change the weapon, of course. I need to change it to this. Fire, fire, ice, ice. Right now I only have those. And we're gonna put octopus choke, yes. Octopus field, yes. And we change this for windmill. And this is going to be busted. The weapon, we're gonna analyze it when we check the weapons, but it's busted with windmill. Windmill is already strong. Remember, most of your damage comes from debuffing the enemy because of Micah, and it only enhances the skills. So that's why it took a lot to defeat the enemy like this. But right now I'm going to do an evade, and then I do this, and then I'm going to constrict. Yeah, you want to debuff the enemy a lot. on this build. Again, here, due to the amount of enemies and the trajectory, we're gonna do it like this, and destroyed. Nice, 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 nice. It is very easy if you do this properly, but if you don't, if you miss the timing of one of the skills, the constrict, it can get rough. As long as you debuff the enemies, there shouldn't be that much of a problem. Then, we're going to start with the mixed ones. Starting with red. On this one, we're going to use generic damage with red. Red, so I'm going to use Baretta along with Stella. And I'm going to keep her, Felicia. And we're using which skills? Octopus Choke, no doubt about it. Tentacle Anchor. No, Tentacle... Angling. Where is Tentacle? Ah, this one. The one that gives me an attack buff. And... Octopus Ink. Okay. You can use Octopus Sever, or you can use the basic enhancer here. But I'm gonna go with Octopus Ink. So what's the idea here? We taunt the enemy, we constrict them. No, we taunt, we constrict, and then we use Octopus Ink. Oh, wait. Well, I'm going to start using it like this now. I'm going to change it. I'm going to increase my critical rate by doing this. So on equip, I'm going to go this, and this. Yeah. Remory, another thing, put a way to sort the Makatamas in different ways here on this screen. Yeah, that's something that we need. So, yeah, now I'm going to be using the Viridian weapon, which is enchanted, and it's 5 out of 5, so I'm going to deal more damage. Be careful with these builds. You want a lot of damage, and also... but also you need to have good damage reduction. Okay, Octopus Choke. Between Octopus Choke, I always use the Tentacle Angling to increase my damage. Here, I'm gonna start with Tentacle Angling. Then, there! I manage. Damage increase. And... Attack. Oh my god. There. Stop that. There, constricted, and now... Oh, I didn't need to, but... Bleh, throwing up. There we go. The next one is going to be... Hebiko and Ichika, of course, the perfect combo, you know? Hebiko Ichika. Along with... this I showcase, I guess, on my video of Hebiko's limited pack. This supporter is super good when you're poisoning the enemy. So obviously we're going to debuff a ton. So we're going to use Octopus Choke, of course, Octopus Sever to increase damage, and pulling to increase speed. You can change pulling if you don't like it for Octopus Field. It is also a good way to debuff the enemy. Or you can keep the red skill so that you also debuff the enemy with speed reduction. So yeah. This is going to deal a ton of damage, as you can see. Yeah, super easy. But here you need good position. I'm gonna start with this. There. Nice. Yeah, all your damage is going to come from Octopus Choke. So you need to be placing yourself properly so that you attack not an enemy, just in the air. And then when the enemies are coming, they get constricted by the tentacle. Uh-huh. Now we're gonna go with 2 blue and 1 red, and 2 blue and 1 red. Let's use the classic one. 2 blue, obviously Felicia, why not? I don't have that many options for this, unfortunately, as I mentioned. Being a human, you need generic supporters, and my generic ones, as you can see, I don't have them enchanted, so I'm gonna be using this, and Susune. So this is another one that relies on debuffs. We're using Susune to get HP recovery. And let's see. Octopus Choke, no doubt about it. Octopus Sever, yes. And Tentacle Angling. Yeah. This is a way to deal damage. So you have 2 ways to deal damage in this one. Angling you can change for whatever you want if you don't like it. But my damage multiplier should be big enough so that I destroy everything super quickly. Come on, guys. Take a hit. Nice. I do this, I do this, and this. And it's destroyed. Also, make sure to constantly debuff the enemies. If you don't debuff them... Wait a moment. Debuff? I have an attack buff, I have damage, and I have... Yeah, the debuff is on choke. So, take advantage of the enemies when they are choked. When they are choked. No, when they are constricted. And you can also use the active. There, nice. Yeah, because if you don't, if they don't have a debuff, then it's not gonna be that much damage. And there we go, and this is the last one. It is kind of the same build, but there's gonna be one minor change in the form of Hebiko. And on the skills, we are going to change something. So Octopus Choke, obviously. We're gonna use Octopus Sever, yes, and Octopus Field to increase the amount of debuffs that we have, so that Susan is always active. I mean, she's always active just by having Hebiko, but I like that those tentacles dealing damage and the speed reduction. So yes, we do this, we constrict, and everything is dead. Huge damage along with extra damage. Come on, evade, there. Nice. Easy peasy, as you can see. Here, double, and then I increase my damage, and everything is dead. Well, almost everything is dead. Nice. Super easy. Super easy. I have a build for the basic attacks, but this is more of a thing that you want to use on dailies or something easy. Because if you use it on something else, let me check. Do I have Hebiko here? No, I don't. And I'm not using a ticket, so I'll use it on gold. Here, Hebiko. This is the build. And you could use it on challenging content, but it's risky because you don't have HP recovery. You can change this, and that would be more optimal for challenging content. For Yuno. Yuno is going to give you invincibility that is the same as super armor. This is only super armor, but also it has speed increase. And we're using 2 melee supporters. Octopus Saber to increase speed, Pulling Tentacle to increase speed, and your basic attack. So we have like 40% speed increase with this. So, oops. I'm just gonna do one run. So just check it. It is there for you if you want it. Though I know supporters and weapons maybe sometimes they are kind of demanding. So you use this and then you start using your basic attacks. You use your 2 skills and basics. Like this, and then you shred the enemy. I know, it's not that impressive when I do it on dailies, but it is just too risky on the other ones. If you want to use Noah, a limited character supporter, no, limited set Noah. There we go. Nice. So, pull, sever, and then basics. You see that I get interrupted just by using the basics. I mean, you can use the active of Noah to gain super armor. Here I don't need it. I don't need that, but you can. And we could use it on. I'm gonna do it. Why not? Very quickly, just to finish. Let me check the time. Yeah, I can. Oh, I barely can. So I changed the supporter for Yuno, and that's it. And it's gonna be fine because I get the benefit of critical rate increase because those are basic attacks. So there we go. Pull, dash attack, and destroy the enemy. But super important that you focus properly the enemies. Even though you have a big range of attack, if you don't focus the right enemies, when the invincibility wears off, you're gonna have trouble. A lot of troubles. Okay. So I do this and I use invincibility and then I start focusing the enemies. Come on. Almost done. Nice. Yeah. Oh, 1000 HP. Okay, I can do it. Oh, come on. There. So it is possible to do this, but not with Noah. I do not recommend that you do it with Noah because you don't have the HP recovery. If you are going with Felicia on VR, well, maybe yes. So there we go. That's Hebiko. Now, very quickly, just to finish, let's evaluate her and let's check the weapons that she can use. So, Hebiko. Hebiko shares weapons with Sakura, so she can use this one. Increase critical rate, I do not recommend that. SR, this one is... Enemies get a 25% chance of dropping a Valiant Harp upon death. Picking up the Valiant Harp makes you invulnerable for... What is this? Where do I get this? This is actually not bad. Yeah, I mean, if this is invincibility for 10 seconds, what's the problem here? This you don't want to use on stages with a single boss that don't have minions. If it has minions, then this is pretty useful, actually. but it is 20%. If it's 50 when max out, then it's worth considering, but it's not the best option either way because of the stats. This is usable. Actually, this build would be less of a hassle if it had this. No, that's not true because this is a basic build and this is for skills. So it is an option that you have in case you want it. And now, yeah, let's check. The Sakura weapons, that help out with Groggy. This doesn't work with Hebiko. Yeah, doesn't work with Hebiko. Snake weapon that gives you particle charge and has a weird active. This is better for range attackers. Increase normal attacks at damage against nerd enemies. Yeah, actually, this can work pretty well with Hebiko because, as you saw, Hebiko nerds the enemies. But she doesn't rely that much on normal attacks. It's just like an added benefit. This is the best one, as you know. Increases speed by 20% when max out and increases critical damage. That's amazing. The arena weapons, they look nice, actually. What is this SR? Increases damage against super armor. Not bad, always useful. This is for Sakura. This is the bad weapon that you want for an infinite mode that we don't have and it's not that great. If you're using the limited supporter, this is useful, but if not, I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, it's good for dailies, but that's about it. The same as the snake weapon, not that impressive. Particle charge and launches balloons. This one is for, I think it's only for Sakura. Yeah, it's only for Sakura. This one, even though you don't get the benefit of, wait a moment. I haven't tested that, but I need to check it. It says that it's only for Sakura, so if the damage increase against humans and damage reduction is only for Sakura, it's a shame. I really wish that this could be used on both characters. I don't know. The Berserker one... Actually, Hebiko is one character that could use the Berserker daggers because of her taunt and also octopus devil link. So yeah, that is actually usable, but I still don't recommend this one. Its effect is too convoluted and the requirement being 20%, it's rough. These ones are actually not that bad, but the stats aren't that great. Normal attack has a 30% chance to increase skill damage by 30% for 10 seconds when max out. Yeah, it's usable, but a heavy investment on the Demonite department, so that's not great. This one increases critical damage against enemies by 16%, not that great, but deals damage, attacking affect enemies, poisoned. It also poisons the enemies, but we already have the supporter, so it's not necessary to poison the enemies like that. This one is super armor, damage against super armor. I don't know why they did that. They should have given it a different effect. And this one, Octopus Windmill can be used while moving. So Octopus Windmill is you cannot move if you use it, but this allows you to move, increases the speed by 10%, and reduces damage taken by 30%. That's amazing. Increase damage by 10% for 6 seconds when being healed. That's also amazing. That's super good. So you want this if possible, if you want to play with Hebiko. The two best weapons for her are definitely this one and this one, the butterfly and the limited. If not, well, whatever you can is fine. I always say that the PvP weapons are fine, and this seems interesting for experimentation. Maybe I'll test it later. So just to finish, what do I think about Hebiko? Let's see. Hebiko. She is good damage dealer, but you need to have the right supporters. If you don't have the right supporters, then it's gonna be kind of rough for her to do what she wants to do. And she is also good at debuffing, but due to the lack of super armor, you want to face a single boss. If you face multiple enemies with super armor, it's gonna be difficult for her to perform her role. If you avoid the attacks, it's gonna be easy to inflict a snare on the enemy and to inflict the slows and everything. So keep that in mind. Uh, she can farm easily thanks to her big AoEs. Because of this one, this one, this one, and this one, it's very easy for her to farm. Not Micah levels or Emily levels, but still easy to farm. So she is great. I mean, I always say all the characters are great, and it's for a reason. They can be used effectively if you have the right equipment. Would I say that this is beginner friendly? No, quite the contrary. She's meant to be kind of tanky-ish or to escape, stealthy maybe, but she doesn't achieve that easily. If you have strength, a good blue supporters, which I doubt because uh, the amount of supporters that you saw that she can equip on blue is very limited. Maybe you could use it, but it's just easier to use it on red. With red, you could go with this one. And green works, but it's frail. So keep that in mind. So yeah, I do recommend that you get it, but not as a beginner. So that's gonna be about it. I'll be seeing you next time. Bye!